school was still going on, but this was from my creative writing class or whatever it was called. I honestly forgot. But basically, all of our groups had to like write a final play and then perform it. And then this was my groups. We did like a teenage band performs for the last time together before the summer, before college type of vibe. And then like it was a really fun experience because oh, okay. All the sketches are falling out, but those are from like later times. But you can see like the other groups had a lot of fun plays to watch. I thought this one was really funny. Today's attendance question: if you could be a body of water, what would you be? I would be the single tear falling down an orphan's face. But yeah, a lot of them were theater kids, so you know, they knew what they were doing. So yeah, this was still when school was happening. And then I was the graphic designer, or one of the school's graphic designers for the athletic center, and then each year they hold like a athletic banquet. So obviously when I went, I'm like, oh my god, what a perfect opportunity to do some life drawing. So here's some like athletes at their dining table, not suspecting me drawing them. And then this is some like dude that like works at the place and he's like giving a speech, I guess. I don't actually know who he is. And then April 12th, I drew my roommate. It does not look like her, so I'm really sorry. The plant, this is kind of like our dining table. Oh, I guess I went to another party in April, and then I was like really drunk, and like we were playing Mafia, and then I think I already lost because I kind of suck at those like lying games, and then decided to draw what was in front of me. So you can see like the table and like the snacks and drinks. And then I think this skips later on to like July or something, so no, I lied. Okay, no, this is still in May. So basically, school let out at the end of April, and then in May I went downtown with two of my friends, and there's like a Korean restaurant, and I was like, oh, let me practice drawing a restaurant scenery. And then May 18th, I went to a rave, I guess. It was kind of like underwhelming because I didn't know, well, they didn't play like actual like songs with lyrics. It was just like noises, so it was kind of like hard to get into it. But I learned about the like candy trading culture. For one, it's like the bracelets, and you do like the thing, I don't know. And then yeah, I was also not drunk enough for this, so it was not very fun for me. But there I was like, oh my god, I'm like not into like this whole rave because it's not really fun for me. So I was like, let me see if I can find any paper and start drawing. And they did have a table where there was like a bunch of like loose pages and pencil crayons and pens, and you could just grab them and draw. So I clearly found some random scrap paper, and I even marked it, May 18th, 1:30 a.m. I guess this is what the bar looked like. Someone else drew that one. And then yeah, you can see the people that attend the rave at 1:30 a.m. And then this is more of a scene of my friends. Like, this is the table we were sitting at, and there's the bar behind them. And my friend also drawing, I guess. Or she's looking at her phone, I don't know. It's not very clear. Also, can we appreciate I managed to get the detail of this duck shirt. This was 2:20 a.m. And I drew another one at 2:43 a.m. And this was like kind of like the entrance, and people were like coming in. I don't know what that is. And then like the table where I found the paper is like kind of over here, and this is like the front desk area, I guess. Oh, and then my friend drew an ISO from Valorant, very slay. And this was like a random thing that I found already on the scrap paper. Oh, and look, another random, you can see how wrinkly it is. It's been through some stuff. And then I drew like another like wall of the I guess bar area. There was also the paramedics dude sitting there, and he looked like he did not want to be there, but I guess he had to. I didn't draw the frog, but It's giving over the garden wall frog vibes. Yeah, and that's all the scrap paper I managed to find. And then it skips to July, so hold on, let me shove these back where they belong. Okay, put this on the side for now. And then we go to this one. Why did I not draw them in order? I don't know. I think it was because this like smaller one was more portable. Okay. So I believe this is when I'm already in the US. So me and my boyfriend are doing long distance and he's from like Pennsylvania and I live in Canada. But like we're both relatively close to the border, so visiting each other is like a little easier than if he was living in like California or some shit, I guess. But yeah, I went to visit him for a month in June, so mainly this is like the sketchbook I used. And these are obviously not life drawings. They're like my OCs for my mentor comic, because in our third year of school, we're summer, we're doing like a mentorship or co-op in general. So these are like the OCs I'm using for my comic. You should also check it out when it comes out, but I'm still working on it. Oh, this is spoilers. I'm gonna have to like blur that out. Yeah, I guess this page is okay. And then I just drew like one chibi. This is May 26th. So I guess I left like near the endish of May to go to the US. There's some like random garden we went to. I did not draw it well, but I tried. And then I went to this like burger restaurant with my mom and my boyfriend. No, I lied. This is still in Canada, okay. Some like random burger restaurant. Did not do my mom justice by drawing her. Oh yeah, and this was me trying to figure out the cover for my mentorship comic. Yeah. And then these are like mock-up keychains for my OCs. Or like a different one. You should check out my webtoon, 3 Summers Without You, link in the description. And yeah, these are like 2 separate projects. And then I actually drew the finished design for this, and I'm gonna send it in soon. More like covered exploration for my mentor comic. And then I wanted to make like stickers of the 2 main characters. Okay, here's when we are actually in America. This is June 1st, 2024. I think this is actually when me and my boyfriend were going to a concert. Yeah. So basically, fun fact, I listened to a lot of TXT, and then my friend was like, hey, they're doing a concert in New York. We don't live in New York. We live in like friggin' Toronto. And you want to go? I'm like, okay, since I'm gonna be like in Pennsylvania, it's close enough to New York. And then I was like to my boyfriend, can you like drive me to the concert? And he's like, what the fuck am I gonna do for like 2 hours? And I'm like, I don't know, go see New York. So he was like, I'll just go with you. So we ended up not even driving there. We just like took the train, and he does not like K-pop, alright. So he sacrificed his ears for me that day. But yeah, this was like the train that we took from Pennsylvania to New York, and then I was kind of just like drawing. You can see the detailed leg hair I drew of my boyfriend. Okay, this is a vertical one. I really like this like small sketchbook because you can like lay it out flat, and then this is yeah, just like a side corridor view of where we were sitting. And then another one, except it's more like you look up more worm's eye view, I don't know, of the like what is it called? I just like woke up and ate breakfast and filmed this. So the luggage storage thingy, yeah. Oh shit, I almost ripped it. And then still June 1st, I went to Central Park for the first time in my life. It was really nice because I mean, obviously New York doesn't have a lot of like trees and stuff, but like there was a lot of trees in Central Park. And then there was like a softball, baseball game going. I think it was softball. They were using like a big ball, so and then yeah, I was trying to like draw in the tree shade. And there's like fences and like the why can I not think of words? The bleachers, yeah. And then can I just say Central Park is like haven for life drawing because there's so many people you could just draw like anyone and they won't even notice you. So yeah, people going about their day and I just decided to draw them. I like this fish shirt. And then there's a dog. And Thought Bubble still smells like sunscreen. And this lady sitting on the rock. Lots of groups of friends just like chilling, which honestly was such a vibe. And then I didn't bring like a blanket with me because I didn't think that far ahead, so I sat on like 2 pieces of opened up tissue so I wouldn't get like my white skirt dirty. And then we kept on having to shift because we were sitting like right behind a tree and like as the sun goes like up, like the shadow kept moving too and we had to like sit under the shadow. Okay, and then these 2 friends come to chill after biking or after work, I don't know. Another further group of friends standing and talking. Oh, and here's when we actually got to the concert. I forgot what the concert hall was called. Madison Square, yeah. That's where we went. And then you can see all like the MOAs. There's a MOA bong. That's the name of their light stick, by the way, not an actual bong. And then yeah, you can see like the main like center stage. Or I guess this would be like the main stage. This is just like a centered like place. And then this is like the whole arena. I thought this was like really fun to draw because all you technically have to draw like in detail is like the people in the front, and if you just like scribble a little bit in the back, human brain's like, ah yes, they are also people. So you don't really have to draw that much. Oh, okay, and that was it for that. The concert was like fun, I guess, but I was like expecting more of their like old songs. Like I was really hyped like to listen to the old songs and like jump around and stuff, but it was like mainly their like newer album, which I do like, but it feels like I was going into like a test that I didn't study for, so I was like low-key like do I remember this song? I'm like more of a casual fan now, but it was like fun to go with my friend. And also it probably would have been dangerous for her to like go back to her hotel like by herself, so I was glad to like walk her back with my boyfriend, and then we both headed back after that. And then the very next day, June 2nd, we went to a Phillies baseball game because, wow, it's not the Pennsylvania experience without going to a Phillies game. Honestly, the only baseball game I've ever been to, like, previous to any, like, Phillies game was, like, a Blue Jays and Red Sox game in Toronto, like, a decade ago. I don't remember, with, like, my class. All I remember was, like, hot as hell. I even remember the game. And I also bought, like, an ice cream drumstick because they ran out of slushies, so yeah. Anyway, my boyfriend's hairy legs again, and that's me, and like the family sitting in front of us. You can see Phillies on the hat. I think it's really fun to see like the contrast between the demographic of like the TXT concert and then like a Phillies baseball game. Very interesting. Okay, and then this is more of like the actual like field. It looks kind of empty because obviously this is like all grass, but like they had the like patterned stripes on the grass, I guess. And then more of like the audience, just tiny scribbles. Okay, I did another vertical spread because those are really fun. Yeah, I guess I tried to focus a little more on the shading with this one. You can see like the chairs and like the shadow on the ground. Hopefully you're able to like differentiate like the different like planes of the chair, or it might look messy to you. I don't know. And then people sitting in front of us. I think the family in front of us left. That's why there's like big space here. Maybe because it was starting to rain. I don't remember if it was this time or like the other times we went to. I went to like a couple of Phillies games, and then it like started like raining, and we were sitting at like this is like, this is like the ledge, and like we were sitting like right under the ledge, so the rain was like just hitting our knees, and like the people in front of us were getting rained on, so I was like, oh, we got real lucky. So I don't remember if this was that time, and or it was because it was like getting late and like the family had to like go because I don't know, it was like a school night. And then more random people. I drew my boyfriend, except this does not look like him. The way I drew him, he kind of looks like a Dr. Seuss character here. Maybe because of like the long eyelashes or like the scratchy hair. Oh, okay. I don't think I wrote the date for this, but this would be like after the Phillies game, like a day or two, I don't know. But my boyfriend and his friends, or like his friends, just decided to go fishing randomly, and like it was very impromptu like trip, and they're like, yo, wanna come? And he's like, okay. And he's like, do you wanna come too? I'm like, I guess. So yeah, this is like his friend on his phone and another friend fishing. This is some like random like forest park. I was gonna make this a 2-page spread, but then they like moved, so I was like, I guess this will just be 1 page. I mean, this is like a 2-page spread. I really like doing this one. So I think it's like all of his buddies just like by the lake and fishing, kind of a vibe, and I'm glad I was able to like capture it on paper. There's like big tree in the center. And I think people were like rowing a canoe. Oh, and then we went to a Texas barbecue house. I don't remember what it was called. But yeah, it took a long time to get our food. So I was like, yeah, I'll draw again. And this was like their fake like fish plaque thing. And that's supposed to be like a population sign, except before I could write population, our food came. So the bread there was really good. It was like the butter, like apple butter dip or whatever. And then this is June 8th. Yeah, I could not read that for a second. Yeah, so my boyfriend had his 21st birthday, not on the 8th. His birthday's on the 5th, but it was like a weekend or whatever. And like we had his relatives and friends all come to like another like smaller league baseball game, Trenton Thunder or whatever, something like that. And then yeah, they had like this like room. I'm like blanking on the word, but it's like 包间 in Chinese, but like basically like a room for like just us. And this was like inside looking out, and this was like kind of a night view by that time, so you can see like the reflection of the people in the room and the people like actually outside the room watching like the baseball game. I don't remember anything from the baseball game, but I was just like busy like talking, I guess, and like drawing. Oh, and then the very next day, June 9th, I'm not religious, but I guess like my boyfriend's mom mostly is, and she was like, you want to go to a church? Usually I wouldn't be interested, but I was like, wait, I can do life drawing in a church, so I went anyway. And yeah, drew the people there, and like I learned what a sabbatical was when going there, because the dude kept on talking about one, and I had to like Google what that meant. And then we go back to my OC mentor comic thing. I was still struggling with like the cover at that point, so I was like trying to come up with like things that were like symbols or important in the story, or like related in the story, and trying to think of things I could do with it. Spoilers, I didn't use like any of this design, so bleh. And then this was talking about Clip Studio Paint with a mentor, because I didn't know how to use Clip Studio Paint like before the summer. Now I do, so yay. And this was like my internship job, like graphic design for my school gym. So I was doing like 2 things basically, like my graphic design internship and then my comic mentorship. And thankfully my graphic design internship was like remote, so I could just like use my boyfriend's computer when I was in America. And it was paid, so thankfully I didn't have to work for free over the summer. It was minimum, but hey, better than nothing. And then more OC thing, this is my 3 Summers Without You webcomic. Again, you should check it out, link in the description. It's really fun. I kind of drew this like on a car ride or like on a train or something like that, so the lines are like super wiggly. I don't know if I would recommend, but I was really trying. Okay, more OCs from that same comic. This a hot tattoo girlfriend of another side character. Oh, this was me writing like a list of to-do stuff for my internship job. And then this was at the restaurant that my boyfriend's working at part-time. Their like coffee machine or whatever that is. And then I didn't finish because we had to start eating. Again, I didn't finish. I think this was at this like museum park place that my boyfriend and his mom we went to together. Except it was also like a indoor restaurant. I think I tried duck l'orange for the first time. I don't think I really liked it that much. It was like kind of salty to me. I don't know. I would still prefer like the Chinese Peking duck, you know. But it was like a interesting experience. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, I think this is like ISO and Gecko like ship art or like whatever. I have like Twitter posts of these, so these are like just the sketches. I think I was writing down steps for like Clip Studio again. Okay, and this is like another like webtoon thing or like OC. So this is the main character for my 3 Summers Without You comic, and this is like a side character, but they're like friends, and he's like a art kid, I guess. And then he's like doing life drawing at a cafe, and then he's like, why don't you show it to them? He's like, maybe I will. So he gets up and like shows the girls that he was sketching. He's like, look, I drew you guys. Hope you don't find it, hope you don't mind. He's like, oh my god, can I take a picture? Yeah, sure, you can have it. And then he's like, see, and then he's like speechless, ... Yeah, and then this was like a YouTube thumbnail thing I was like sketching out. I still haven't made that video yet. I'm not sure when I will, to be honest, because school's already getting really busy and it's like my 4th year. And then this skips to August again, so we will be going back to the other bigger sketchbook. So yeah, I think by July I am back in Canada. And then this was when me and my friends went to a Korean restaurant. Originally we were supposed to find a cafe to like sketch in, but like that was not successful, so we just kind of like, you know, let's just get Korean food. It's like hot as hell. Let's get some naengmyeon, some cold noodles, and it was really good because like the 3 of us split like these 2 big bowls, and so we got the spicy naengmyeon and the regular naengmyeon. It was really good. And for some reason the kimchi was spicier than like the spicy naengmyeon, which I found kind of weird, but whatever. And then there's these like 3 Korean dudes sitting on like that side, and I drew them. And then this was at the GO station. I was drawing a bunch of people just like sitting while waiting for my GO train. Oh, there's my friend also drawing. This was like in the GO train. And then more people. I think this was the GO train again, except it was like across from me, I guess. Also still on the GO train. And then this was... Wait, if I'm already on the GO train, how did I draw the people waiting at the station? Okay, I don't know how that works. No, I think it's a separate trip to the Union Station. I don't remember. Oh, and then I drew this because I think this girl was like really distraught because she couldn't find like her family or something, and then she was like on her phone being like, yeah, I can't find my family, but they said something about being at like a Shoppers, and like these 2 security people were like, oh, okay, like the closest Shoppers, blah blah blah, and like trying to help her, which I thought was really wholesome. It like restored my faith in humanity. But also imagine being like really distraught about like not being able to find your family, and this like random ass girl's like drawing you. Yeah, and then another like seat thing. And I drew the Tim Hortons there. Wow, people ordering coffee. I think this is like the small Tim Hortons that didn't fucking have anything I wanted except for like coffee and like donuts. I think this was also, no, this was like the time where I was gonna go to like High Park. Is that what it's called? The one big park in Toronto, yeah. And then I hadn't eaten breakfast, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll just get like a sandwich, a breakfast sandwich at Tim Hortons, but they're like, sorry, we don't have that. And like they're like 3 of their 4 kiosks don't fucking work, so I was like, okay, let me just get these like like 4 cheese, like butter things, whatever. Then more Tim sketches. Okay, and this is when we got to the like zoo in the park, except it was like pouring that day. And thankfully my friend who lives in Toronto was like, hey, can I come along? I'm kind of bored. I'm like, yeah. Can you also bring an umbrella? He's like, okay, sure. So we had like one umbrella. And like this meetup was supposed to be with like my school classmates to like go draw the animals there. But even though I knew it was raining, for some reason I didn't say in the group chat, make sure to bring umbrella, guys. So like half the people didn't have umbrellas, so we had to like hide out temporarily. And then we like went to the cafe to like wait out the rain, which eventually it did stop raining. And then the sun came out. And I was like drawing the view outside the door. I think it was like was it called a rainforest cafe? I don't know. And then we finally got to the main event, which was like drawing the animals. So they had like peacocks there. They're kind of hard to draw since they like move a lot, but sometimes they stay still. I think these two are like alright. Weirdly enough, I saw a peacock when I was like in that museum park thing in Pennsylvania too, except it was just like one. There was like multiple in the zoo in Toronto. Some like goats, rams, I forgot what they were, but yeah. Yeah, I drew these like directly with Sharpie to like try to simplify as much as possible. There's like dudes eating. Oh, there was one where he's sitting down. I don't know. Another one. Oh, this face got a little messed up, so I kind of just gave up on it. Oh, and then there were like these like cows, bulls, and then this like one girl was just like squatting there and like mooing at it, I guess. Normal kid behavior. Nibbling its own tail. Yeah, in case you couldn't tell. I honestly can't really tell from the drawing, but yeah. The little calf was like nibbling its own tail. And this was like the dad, I guess, except I could not get the face done properly, so I also just gave up. This is their little cabin, and then he like kind of retreated into it. Yeah, were these emus? I forgot what type of bird we saw. Ostrich? I don't fucking know. And then like, yeah. They smelled very interesting. And then the llama's there. And deer, I guess? I'm not really sure. This floating head is here because I couldn't finish drawing the full body and then just like walked away. And so it's like, yeah, freaky. And then I drew like two of my friends squatting and like drawing the animals, and I was like standing. I drew this hat way too big. Why does it look like an XXL hat? Oh, and then there were capybaras, the main star of the show, the capybaras. Even when it was raining, they were like the only ones out because like I guess capybaras just really don't give a shit. I like their vibe though. But yeah, the sun was out later and they were like still chilling, I guess. There's like a soccer ball. Oh, and I drew one, and he was just like a big fur ball, and then I was like, it's perfect the way it is, so I just like left it blank. And then yeah, they were like squashed up against the fence, I guess. And then it was July 14th. I don't remember if this was the same day as like going to the zoo, but I was drawing like more people at the ghost station again. Yeah, more people sitting, casually, just living life, I guess. This dude had a suitcase with him. I drew myself in the reflection of the GO train. Except I don't think I did my proportions well, so it looks a little elongated. Oh, and this is not life drawing anymore. Well, I drew from like Pinterest, so like technically it is life drawing because it's people, but yeah. These two are not like holding each other, okay? This was like two separate things. I just like ran out of space, so it looks like this guy is holding this guy. Live Photoshop, wow. Oh, I don't know why this is blank. I guess I skipped a page by accident. Oh yeah, I think another highlight of the summer was I had my elementary school reunion. So that was really interesting. I like planned it back when I was still in America. I like made this like whole Google form about like where do you want to go? What time are you available? And I guess we chose like the first or second week in July. And it was really interesting because I thought cuz not gonna lie, people were so shit at communicating in the group chat. I thought like 6 people were gonna show up, and I'm like, okay, if it's a small gathering, it's a small gathering. But like 30 people ended up showing, and like I think it's because we're like actually there, and I was like sent a pictures like, hey, we're still here if you want to join, and like I guess like if one person joins, it's like, oh, I should like call up this person, like my friends, and then like a whole group comes later, so like one person ends up dragging like 4 or 5 people with them. And I guess like everyone still lives in the same area. If they weren't like working or had like a co-op outside of the country, they did show up, which was really nice. And also interesting to see what people were doing because we all haven't seen each other in like 8, 7 years. Yeah, we had our reunion 3 years early. I thought you were supposed to have a reunion like every 10 years, but we had ours at like 7 years. So yeah, I drew everyone just chilling and chatting. We brought like food. It was like a picnic at a park near our elementary school. But yeah, the vibes were nice. And then this was like messages that people were like writing, basically like thanking me for like organizing it, I guess. I might blur it out because I don't know if people don't want their names to be shown online. But here's a JJ the Jet plane one of my old classmates drew. And then this is again me and my friends go to the Toronto like reference library, and we're supposed to draw, except they didn't like bring much to draw with, so I was like, here, you can have like my other sketchbook, and then they ended up drawing like random shit. Why is this like alpha male like Timo from League and like fucking Carol P as like a sexy lady, and then Pochako is no, it's like a this is not Pochako, it's like Timo but like a cuter chibi version, some like security guard lady, random eye doodles. Lovely creation. They're trying to forge my signature to make it look like I drew it. But it's Timo from League again, holding Pochako and Keropi, but they're like hot ladies. And Mike Wazowski too. I don't know what's going on. And then I did more Pinterest like life drawings. This is Yeonjun, my man's. Why does it say 28? Oh no, never mind. It's July 28th. I guess I ripped out a piece of paper here. More life drawings. Oh, I kind of like the like flow of this pose. Oh, and here's my OCs again. What skin should I buy? Yeah, that's right. I made my OC a filthy League player, and then his to-be boyfriend, not canon yet in the main story. Oh, and this is his name. Go for it, Jalphon, which is like, you know that like meme with like, what was the original? Like, Go for it, Nakamura? I forgot his name, but like the stars and like the person they're like crushing on meme. More Pinterest drawings, except it's like Hanfu. August 4th. And then more Hanfu drawings. There's more. Wow, look at that alcohol. Wait, Wushen, is that you? I don't know what happened to this guy's face. I kind of just like practice fabric flowiness when I draw, I guess. Wow, look at this like cocky posture. Big man with a big sword. What is he holding? What is that? Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's like a gourd. Oh, and like a full scene. Also from Pinterest. Another full scene. These were like really fun to do because like the Sharpie kind of like forces you to like, also because it's permanent, so you gotta like observe more. Okay, and then we finally get to like the miscellaneous doodles. Oh wait, no, I forgot. Okay, we kind of like skipped all of August. There's more August drawings. We're trying to piece together the mystery of my 2024 summer. So I was on a bus. This was going, I remember, the chaperone uh Pony Club something something club. It was like a really long name. Sugar something Rush in Toronto. Um yeah, I didn't know who Chaperone was at the time. I thought it was just like the name of like the event, but turns out it was like actually the name of like a singer. So yeah, the more you know. And then they play like a lot of her songs. And anyway, this was like the trip I had to take via the bus to get to like my friend's house, which we were supposed to chill at, get drunk, before going to like the club night. Except the friend hosting, he like remembered the wrong date. Like it was supposed to be a Friday night, but he thought it was like Saturday, so like his shift at work, he like purposely traded with someone so he had Saturday free instead of like Friday free. So like right when I got there, I was supposed to like just like wash the house and open the door for the other people because they were like running late, and then he just had to like go to work. But yeah, more bus drawings. It was a really fucking long bus trip. This was like a really weird bus ride because this whole bus had like interesting characters. Also, there was like an infant girl that like threw up on the bus. I think she was really trying hard to control herself to not throw up because she was like covering her mouth, and like when she did throw up, it was mainly like on herself, in her hands and on the stroller, and it did not actually reach the ground, which I applaud her for the self-control. And then they like swiftly left the bus. Thankfully it didn't smell that much because I still had like a couple more stops. Yeah, actually, was this the club night or bro, I'm getting mixed up on like what's happening, or was this a different time? No, this was the very okay, clearly I had a very full summer life. Okay, no, this was before. Okay, yeah, you can tell I drew like on random stuff because this is like on a receipt. This is also on a receipt. So this was before the bus trip, August 5th, yeah. I decided to buy like more of those like normal office pens to do life drawing with, because turns out the shittier your pen is, the more fun you'll have drawing. Like the cheaper your supplies with, the less like pressure you'll have to like draw good, and then you'll draw good ironically. And then this was like a snack shop at a mall. Did I date this one? It's on a tissue. This was when I went to like a skewers restaurant with my dad, and I was like, oh, I'm like kind of bored, but I didn't bring my sketchbook. And then instead of having receipts to draw on or their menu, because sometimes you have those like throwaway menus, I found a piece of tissue, and then that restaurant you had to like use the pen to like mark off like the food you want, and you hand the menu back to them. So I just like kind of kept the pen. I didn't keep the pen to like take home with, but like during the whole meal I was like kind of just sketching. There's my dad, and they had like their drinks all up in here, and there's like a waitress. Honestly, really proud of this drawing. Pretty good use of the tissue as well, I would say. Okay, back to the bar thing. We're gonna try to piece together this mystery together. So back at the chaperone night, also these were the stars that I had on my face that night, because I was like, oh, they'd be like really wasteful to throw it away, so I just like stuck it on the paper. Slay thigh high boots. Yeah, I was like kind of like drunk-ish. No, I was like getting kind of sober at this point. I like jumped around and danced for like 2 or 3 hours, 2ish. It started at 11 and then ends at 1. So I guess for like 2 hours I was jumping around and got really hot and I got really sweaty. But it was good vibes. The people like near us were very fun to dance with, even though we didn't like know them. But I feel like the drunkenness and also like the music, you know, we just connected through dancing, I guess. Is drunken stupor a common phrase? Yeah, you can tell I was like a little bit out of it. I was just like writing random things. This was like from the inside, like looking out at the balcony. Then more people at the bar. This was like supposed to be all the drinks. And it was like kind of like yeehaw themed, I guess. Yeah, I wore like I kind of look like like farmer slash cowgirl. That was my outfit, but I'm glad I wasn't the only one that wore like a cowboy hat. Here, look, I even dated this. This was outside, I think. They were playing Michael Jackson, so I wrote, Annie, are you okay? It was 12:24 a.m. This was like, I guess the other bar like across from us. I think we were like in Kensington or something. And then we have another drawing of the bar. What is this? There's a lime slice on the table. Wow. Very important commentary. On the table I was drawing on, not like the bar table. Pink Pony Club. It's going past 2 a.m. question mark. Heh. All the tables are clean. Or I don't know. I was kind of out of it. Yeah, they're like stacking the chairs by that point, so like they were like getting ready to close up. And I think this was like yeah, this was when the clubbing was still going at like full swing. So like this was where like most of the clubbing people were. This was like a performer. And then just looking that way. Yes, perspective. What are all these notes that I wrote? He moved closer to hear better. And then some girl came up and asked if I was drawing later. She was wondering what I had been doing. Oh, and then these two guys were sitting like next to me having a drink. Like, the two guys sitting next to me were so nice. Cause they saw me drawing. I feel like when you're drunk, you just like say things more like easily, you know, less of a filters. And then they were like, oh, like, are you drawing? I'm like, yeah, I'm in illustration, going into my 4th year soon. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And like after they had their like chat, these like two dudes, or like they were like, yeah, good luck on your 4th year. And I'm like, oh my god, they're so nice. And then they like went about doing their own thing. And then more of the same bar drawing again, I guess. This is where that lime slice would have been, probably. And yeah, if you're wondering where the paper came from, this time I didn't grab it randomly from the bar, I brought it myself. I came prepared, and I like brought my own pen and stuff. And I think it's just nice to draw like different aspects of life. And it's not like I'm only drawing there, like I did like club for like 2 hours and I'm like, okay, I think I'm done. I just sat down and drew. Sorry, I can't grammar. And this was on the bus back in August. Yeah, the very next day after the whole clubbing thing. Oh yeah, and also, sorry, my mind is like all over the place. Basically, the friend that got like the shift wrong, he ended his shift around like 11-12ish and still kind of like managed to get to like the club, but by that time it was like 1 a.m. I thought 1 a.m. was like when they like start closing stuff down, but turns out they like prolonged it to like 2 a.m. so he was only there for like an hour. And also there was like a Fanta bottle that really yeah, after the previous clubbing experience, I'm like, I'm never going to a club not drunk again, because that was so like not fun. So I put like Jack Daniels in this like Fanta bottle, and just before we went into the club I like chugged like a third of it, and like my two other friends like drank a little bit, and then we were gonna save a little bit of the Jack Daniels, the Fanta, for like our friend coming from his like part-time job. We hid it like under this bench near the club, and then we went in, and then after like an hour or so we came out and checked, it was still there. But by the time our friend got here, it was like 1 a.m. and then we're like, okay, we have Jack Daniels for you. And then we went outside, and then the bottle was freaking gone, and we're like, bro, it was like here this whole time. So we just had to like go in for like the last hour like sober. But yeah, I hope someone like at least took the Jack Daniels and drank it, because you know, it'd be a waste if it was just like lost somewhere. But yeah, anyway, after that whole clubbing thing, the very next day I had to go with another group of friends to eat like Korean barbecue. So I had to like bus again. It was like a really weird way. Like the subway was not the most convenient option because it was like kind of like out of the way. I don't know. Yeah, I had to bus. And I had to like wait for my one bus for quite a while, so I drew like the like construction site across from the street. Another drawing of Lady on the Bus. Yeah, this was my bracket's weird ass bus ride. And I met up with like the group of friends, and then there were like this was like a pretty like big meetup, I would say. We had like 8 people or something like that, and like the 2 other friends were coming from somewhere else, so we were like waiting for them at like a cha time, and then I just took the time to draw. I think this like skipped a page. Is this the same day? When is this? When is the date? Bruh. Okay, no, so it is the next day. Why was I out again the next day? Holy fuck. So I drew like a mall. Oh my god, okay, it's like, YouTube CEO Susan died yesterday. Yeah, so it turns out that happened. Very unfortunate. My condolences. I don't know why I felt like I had to like write it down, but I guess I was like shocked. Yeah, and then August 10th, that's it for this sketchbook. Let's see what else we have. Okay, so this is clearly done. I think the only last thing I have to show is this, again, more random paper I found to draw with. So, there was like the K-Festival in August, so like August 24th, question mark. Or it was like Korean cultural celebration, and then I went with like 3 of my friends. And then basically this K-pop group, Purple Kiss, I hadn't heard of them before, like previous to like the festival, but they were gonna like perform for free, which is like kind of a big deal at like the festival. So we got there like around like early noonish, and then no, we ate at Kinton Ramen because we didn't want to buy the festival food because that stuff's obviously very expensive. And then we went to the festival. We did buy bingsu, which is like the shaved ice. It was kind of disappointing, not gonna lie. It was like a bunch of frozen fruits, not fresh fruits, so it didn't really taste that good. I mean, like the like milk cream whatever thing they added to like the shaved ice was good, but I would not recommend. Maybe we should have gotten one that wasn't like fruits. We should have gotten like the red bean one or like the rice cake one or something like that. Yeah. And then after we got that, we kind of just like sat around like there was like this stage, and then we had like a bunch of like a concrete steps seat things to sit at, and then we were like, oh, the like concerts or the performance is all the way at like 8 p.m., 7 p.m. or something like that, and it was still like 3 p.m. at the time. We're like, well, if we wanted to save our seats, we'd kind of have to stay here the whole time. And then that day, I didn't bring any like drawing supplies, so I was like, oh, that sucks. Like, what are we gonna do for like 4 hours? I guess like watching the performance, but it's like they had a really long opening ceremony too. So when one of my friends asked to like, oh, you want to like refill water with me, or like get the water, go to the water refill station, I'm like, okay. And then coincidentally we saw a bunch of like random booths, and you know they're trying to like promote their like company or like service or whatever. They had like free pens and free like pamphlets. I'm like, oh my god, I've never been so happy to find a random pamphlet from Diabetes Canada, because I could draw on it. And there was also like Korean newspaper. I like went up to them, was like, hey, is it okay if I like take a copy and another one for my friend? They looked really confused before. They were like, yeah, sure. And then so we had stuff to draw on, yay. And I need to show you what one of the pens I found looks like, because it's like kind of ridiculous. Yeah, one of the pens I found was this friggin' thing that they were giving out. when the guy saw us, he was like pulling it out as if we were like kids. Like, hey, look what this can do. And then like I was like, okay, I guess I'll take it. Like, it's a pen. And then how do I? There we go. Yeah, you gotta like click it. So yeah, that's a thing. I think they were like housing like related or like whatever. Real estate business lawyer. And then this was like the other like normal pen I picked. And then I've never been so happy to find like random stationery at like a random event, but I think that like saved the day. And then yeah, I was just like drawing people, the crowd in front of us, and there was like people standing. I guess this would be like the pit if this was like a concert arena or concert hall. And then there was like the lady and this dude singing. It was really good. And there was like this mini comic that I drew. So the guy up on stage is like throwing something, and then we're all like, "Oh my god, free stuff! What is that?" And he's like, "Enjoy the instant coffee, guys." And we're like, "Oh, never mind," and like instantly retract our hands. Oh, and then I think this is like the big thing that I drew. So this is where K-Fest like happened. Ignore this like random like printed thing because that's part of the pamphlet. But yeah, I was like, oh, I should practice drawing like perspective and like buildings and stuff. So this is kind of like what we saw that day. There was like also some airplanes passing by, and these are like the people. And if you can just ignore this, this was like a ledge and the stairs that go down into like the steps and the seats. And then this was like the actual what's it called? The actual like stage. Like the stage would be here. I like just missed drawing the stage. And yeah, it was like really fun that day. And I think it was like the first summer, not first, like the only fun, blah, 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 the only summer festival I went to like this summer, not counting like conventions, because that's like kind of different. There was no performances. I did go to like Fan Expo and Anime North this summer. Didn't draw there though, but other stuff happened. And thank you so much for watching my 2024 summer sketchbook tour. And if you're interested in seeing other sketchbook tours, I have more on my channel. There's like ones from when I was like in elementary, so they're definitely more cringe. And make sure to check out my webtoon. This is the last time I'm gonna plug in this video, but link in the description. And if you're interested in more art stuff, check out my channel too. And bye, see you in the next one.